Welcome to DataViz Daily. I'm Kevin McGinley, and if you watched the last episode, you saw me use this tool called Exploratory to use R-like functionality, well, not R-like functionality, R functionality wrapped within this kind of awesome user interface to manipulate a data source and ultimately get to this BoxPlot visualization where I was plotting text sentiment for the different candidates that spoke in the general election debates. And, to do that, we use this text sentiment function within Exploratory that calls a text sentiment package within R and uses that to analyze the words that the candidate spoke to, infer whether it was sort of a positive or negative sentiment. Now, what I was also able to do with this tool is export a data set, and what I want to do now is take that data set and bring it into Oracle Data Visualization, and also show how we can do this BoxPlot-like functionality within Oracle Data Visualization using the plugin feature, which allows us to build custom visualizations and put them within Oracle Data Visualization. So I'm going to switch here from Exploratory, which is running natively on my Mac, to my virtual machine. And the first thing that we're going to do is look at the OracleBI Public Store here. So this is a website that's geared towards plugins that you can install and download and install within your Oracle Data Visualization desktop. This is something that is, I don't want to say unique to desktop. There are some things that you can do within the other versions of Oracle Data Visualization, but desktop is definitely the most sort of extensible in this regard. And so with that in mind, there is this BoxPlot Viz plugin that you can, click to download. Basically what you're going to do is it's going to give you a zip file, and as you can see here, it wants you to put it in this folder here, local app data, DV desktop, plugins. So where is that local app data? Well, if you open up a command prompt and just do cd to % local app data, it'll actually take you to that directory within the command prompt. But what I'm going to go do here is I actually have it sort of bookmarked within Windows Explorer. You can see here I've saved it. For me, the user that I log into my virtual machine with is called IE user, and underneath that, it's sort of a hidden directory. It's called app data. And then inside there's a local folder and a DV desktop folder. From there, you're going to create a subfolder called plugins. Now, this wasn't here the first time I went to add a plugin to my DV desktop environment, so I just had to, right-click, do new folder, and create a folder called plugins. And once I did that, all I'm going to do is take the zip file that I downloaded from the public store and drop it in here. I don't need to unzip it. I don't need to do anything else to it. I could just sort of drop that zip file within that plugins folder, and as long as you don't have Oracle Data Visualization Desktop running, the next time it boots up, it'll recognize that, look inside the contents of it, and use that to generate a visualization. So what does that look like? Well, I've gone ahead and taken that CSV file that I exported from Exploratory that's got the sentiment built into it, and gone ahead and created a data source for that. So I can now use it to create a new project. So if we come here to add new project, and we now get, here are all of the different fields that we had within the Exploratory sort of data wrangling. You can remember that we started off with line, speaker, text, and date. I added the columns debate, sequence, prior sequence, next sequence, text sentiment, line count, and speaker type. We'll talk about these sequence columns in a future episode, but I really want to sort of talk about this text sentiment now. So this is pre-calculated. I'll get into future episodes how you could actually calculate this within Oracle Data Visualization as well. But what we really want to look at here now is, hey, can I do a box plot within Oracle Data Visualization? And if we go to our visualization list here, you can see the BoxPlot Viz plugin that appears. And I'm just going to go ahead and double click to add it to my canvas. You can see here that I've got a couple drop zones, boxes or groups, detail points, and values that can be put in from a metrics perspective. Now, as you're going to find out after I build this, there are some limitations to using these plugins. There are certain types of features that aren't going to be available when you're using a plugin versus when you're using a native visualization to the app. But that being said, let's go ahead and build one and show you what it looks like. So the thing that I'm interested in here the most, I'm going to put the speakers in the boxes or group, and I want their text sentiments in the values. And you'll notice the visualization here doesn't work unless you actually populate all three of these drop zones. It's wanting detail points. And what really works here is if I drop this sequence line in here, because these are all the different lines that each speaker spoke. And we've got a sentiment per line, and we're going to use the BoxPlot here to sort of plot that out. Now I'm going to simplify this a little bit, get rid of some of the things that we don't need by just kind of filtering this down to the Democrats, the moderators, and the Republicans, make the visualization a little bit easier. And you can see here that this BoxPlot varies slightly from the exploratory one, in that it also will plot points that are outside the BoxPlot range. So we've got, sort of the core BoxPlot functionality here, the sort of concentration of where, most of the content falls for a given speaker. The sort of max and min ranges, not from a what is their max, because clearly we've got outliers here. But, just generally speaking, where is the range that each sort of candidate tends to fall within. And then it also plots these sort of outliers, the points that fall outside those ranges. And you can hover over any of these points. So you can see here, line 67 for Tim Kaine was a particularly positive one. For Clinton here, we've got a particular one on the debate on the 9th at line 70, which was negative. Pence had one here on the vice presidential debate, line 82, that was particularly negative. Trump has one here that's looks like it's on the first debate, line 262. So, these are sort of ones that fall outside their sort of core range of where their text sentiment tends to fall. So this BoxPlot is slightly different than the one that we saw in Exploratory. If I go back to that one, you'll see here, and let me kind of go down to this version of it. We had by speaker type, where we don't really get to see the outliers, and sort of the x-axis or the y-axis here is a little bit different. Let me expand this a little bit. So we see a slightly different version of this. One thing that's nice with this one is that it shows you all the different sort of ranges for a particular speaker, at all the different points within the BoxPlot. We don't get that within the Oracle Data Visualization one, but within the Oracle Data Visualization one, we get a nice sort of plotting of these outliers as well. Now, unfortunately, because this is a plugin, there's actually no interaction here. I can't, right-click on this and do keep this, only and look at this specific guy. I'd have to actually go do another analysis to kind of handpick those sequence numbers and find out what those text values are. So there are some limitations there. You'll also know that, or see that I can't add reference lines. I can't do outliers. It's already doing outliers, so I don't really need to do that. And the properties window for this particular visualization, all I can really control here is whether the title appears or not. So that's one drawback to the plugins, is that you have to sort of really build everything that you want it to do within the plugin itself. And so there really aren't any additional properties available. But the bottom line is BoxPlot wasn't a visualization that DataViz Desktop shipped with, DV Desktop shipped with, but we were able to add it through the plugin mechanism, which is definitely one of the strengths of Data Visualization Desktop. So that's showing BoxPlot with text sentiment analysis generated by Exploratory, which users are showing them through a BoxPlot, which is a plugin to Oracle Data Visualization using the new plugin feature. For this episode of DataViz Daily, it's a mouthful there. For this episode of DataViz Daily, I'm Kevin McGinley. Thanks for watching.